Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and we're going to be talking about Zane's third myth and when we can expect to get it, basically. And this is quite interesting. Now, I have made previous videos, of course, covering the topic, especially concerning the fact that the two previous love interests had, they had their myth and the promise coincide. So when it was Raphael's new myth that came out, he was on the promise, and when Xavier's myth came out, he was also on the promise. So it is fair to assume, right? It is fair to assume that during the promise run, if the featured love interest is going to have their next myth, that it should coincide. Now, that isn't a hard and fast rule. This is just a theory that people have come up with because it seems viable, and it doesn't seem kind of odd to say that or hypothesize that since it happened twice already. So everybody was thinking that this new promise card that had been released was going to feature Zane, because Zane is supposed to get his new myth out soon. And a lot of snowflakes and a lot of Zane girlies out there are kind of freaking out right now. They're kind of freaking out over social media, on Twitter. I have seen some comments on Reddit as well, kind of questioning, why did Caleb and Silas come out on the promise? And to be perfectly honest, it is a really good question. So, again, these are things that you should take with a grain of salt. But we're going to look at the old schedule, the new schedule that had come out previously, and also exactly the end date of this new promise. So let's talk about it. So this new promise featuring Silas and Caleb is going to end on October 28th. Okay? And if you look at the old schedule that we had received in the past, let me just pull it up. It's over on my Discord. So if I pull up my Discord right here and I show the old, so this was the original schedule, right? So we had Xavier's new myth, we had the multi-banner for the beach card, and now we're going to get Zane's birthday card. And previously, before a new schedule had been released, we were going to expect solo, another multi, Xavier's birthday, and then Zane's new myth in October into November. So at the very end, we were supposed to expect it around this time. But to be perfectly honest, there was a new schedule that then came out, which was thankfully shared over on my Goblin Dropbox. So this Goblin Dropbox right here is this is where people can, submit different items to me that I can look and review. So we're going to now have Zane's birthday coming out on October 31st until the 9th, which is exactly what we went over in a previous video. Then we're going to get a Silas Lunar. Then we're going to have Zane's myth in late September, which is a big change from the late October that we had gotten into early November. So it's very interesting to see that this schedule has changed, but it still doesn't coincide or work well with the promise that they basically showed us now. Because if this promise is supposed to end on October 28th, and then maybe Zane will come out with maybe Xavier or Raphael, then are we supposed to expect his new myth then? Or are we supposed to expect his new myth coming up soon? It's kind of all up in the air right now, and I'm genuinely confused. I am genuinely shocked, and I don't know, guys. Maybe Infold is trying to throw us off, throw us off our game, throw us off our theories and whatnot. Because if you think about it, all right, whether you change the schedule for a banner compared to the schedule of the promise being released, changing the schedule for banner releases is much harder than changing the schedule for a promise. So it's possible that they're changing who is going to be featured on the promise during a new myth release. Now, I don't want to shock anybody. I don't want to scare anybody, especially anybody who is a Silas Lovely. But, I mean, there might be a theory going around that Silas's new myth is gonna come out during this time. So, from now until October 28th, the ball is up in the air. But I don't even think that that's possible because they didn't even rerun his old myth yet. There isn't enough time. There isn't enough substantial facts to back that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, all right, so when exactly is this all gonna happen? I'm looking at this new schedule here, and I'm looking at this October 28th when this what do you call this? This promise is going to end. So I'm looking at the schedule. October 28th, there is a mixed pool that is supposed to be going out. So what is surrounding that? Okay, what is surrounding that? Silas's new myth, and Silas's new myth is supposed to come out December 8th. This is a little bit tricky. Okay, this is a little bit tricky because there is no way that this could happen. There is literally no way that this could happen, because if we get a new promise, well, not if, we are going to get a new promise around this time here, because that's when the current one is going to end. And who is it gonna feature? It would have to feature Silas again. It would have to feature Silas again for that theory to be correct, that we're going to get the new myth with a feature of the guy on the banner. So I'm thinking maybe they're going to release Zane here. You know, they're gonna release Zane here just to like mix things up, to confuse the public. Because, like I said, it is so much easier to change the schedule of a promise card as opposed to the banner schedule. Because the promise cards, yes, it has story behind it. Yes, it has, it features the love interests and they're supposed to take turns. But Infold is not, they're not bound to anything. They're not bound to any particular schedule. And also we've seen in the past that they've done a back-to-back where, a love interest was featured and then featured again in the next promise. They did that with Xavier. And it is interesting. It is interesting. I have no idea what they're doing. I have my own theories. Like, my strongest theory is that they're switching it up so that way people will doubt themselves and people will continue to talk about the myth, the birthday of Zane, the myth of Zane, the myth of Silas, and all of those things. The only thing that I do not want to happen, I don't want infighting to happen about who is being featured on the promise banner, promise, battle pass, or whatever you want to call it, because it's going to inevitably happen. Somebody is going to start some shenanigans, and it's just gonna spread like wildfire. You know how petty this community can be. And we've also allegedly had quote-unquote a theory that Infold is also the ones who are propagating the infighting, So I don't want to fight about, I don't want to read or see anything, because I'm not going to participate in the arguments. Anything talking about how dare these two men show up during Zane's month, I don't want to hear anything like that, because again, this schedule, yes, it has been correct thus far. If you're talking about the old schedule, it has been pretty much 1-to-1, but if you're gonna use this as solid proof to cause infighting, I don't want that. Anyway, that is pretty much it. That is the theories that I have come up with, my own speculations, exactly what is happening, and I think that Infold is just switching things up so that way they confuse us, you know what I'm saying? So Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. What do you think is going to be released? Do you think that Infold is going to continue with the schedule? They've been pretty one for one as of late for the previous schedule before. So I want to know what your theories are. Let me know down below in the comments, and yeah, that should be a really fun conversation to have. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I am Lynn the Gacha Goblin. If you want to subscribe to the channel, feel free to do so. I cover Love and Deep Space, and also some future Gacha games, and I'm very excited for those. Anyway, if you want to join the Discord server and, I don't know, maybe drop me some things you would like me to react to in the Goblin Dropbox, or just make new friends online, go ahead and join the Discord server there. And if you want to support the channel in a little bit of an extra way, go the extra mile, you can, have a membership here on YouTube, or you can join my Patreon, or you can give me a one-time tip that is not a reoccurring payment on Ko-Fi or on buymeacoffee.com. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I am Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye-bye now.